What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. Today's video, we're taking a look at the best team that I have found to play in the Holiday Cup Great League Edition. And if any of you were in the stream on Friday, you knew I was down bad, dude. I was having a bad time. Everything I tried, it wasn't working. I was bleeding elo. Had a trainer, Absol, Train Best, came into the chat, suggested this team to me. You know I love Skeledirge, so I'm like, I'll give it a try, and nothing else could go wrong, right? Went on an immediate 5-0 rip with this team. Played a couple sets the day after, got the 3-2 in for some positive gains. And I also had a 4-1 that I didn't record like a bozo. So we're going to jump into these battles. We've got Skeledirge, Credilli, and Vigoroth in the Holiday Cup. Let's get right into these battles here and see how this team performs in a Lantern Vigoroth meta. Of course, first we've got the Dirge, the mirror himself. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay in because I obviously, Credilli's not going to have a good time here, and neither is Vigoroth. So I swap, hoping I'm catching a Shadow Ball, but I realize very low possibility that they actually went for the Shadow Ball because I would have shielded that with my Skeledirge anyway. So I save the energy on my Skeledirge and swap into Vigoroth regardless. I need to shield this next Disarming Voice, but I can get to the Rock Slide and get the shield back right here. So I'm going to bait like every other Vigoroth I've ever seen. And I actually get the shield for it, which is huge. So I'm going to continue to farm up. Opponent goes straight into their Vigoroth after doing another Incinerate. And at this point, I just need to go for Body Slams and do as much counter damage as I can. If I keep track of how much energy they have, I know that they're not able to get to a Rock Slide yet, so I can throw the Disarming Voice here. And honestly, if I can just save a shield for Credilli, if I can somehow also get the opponent to... so here's the reason. All right, getting ahead of myself. I swap in Credilli here because it's going to absorb that Rock Slide or Body Slam much better. So if the opponent goes for the Rock Slide, not super effective, much better. I also get farm on the Credilli so that I can deal with the Skeledirge when it comes back in, which it does. Opponent goes for the move here, but I go for the extras instead, knowing that they're going to need another Incinerate most likely to get to this Rock Slide. And I actually don't know who in CMP here, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm hoping now that the opponent either loses CMP or they don't get another move off here. And thankfully, for me, they throw, and I'm a bozo. If this is a Shadow Ball, I get taken out. It's not. The opponent does not have the Shadow Ball, so I'm able to go for one more Bullet Seed. If the opponent had the Shadow Ball, I would have had a much different conversation right now with y'all. But opponent going for that Shadow Ball, or not going for the Shadow Ball, allows me to get that extra move in, and I'm able to get to this Rock Slide here to take out, or not take out, but get the Arctibax low, and then Skeledirge just pops in and goes for a Disarming Voice, and that's going to KO. And that was the beginning of the rip with this team, okay? I had a bad time, and it was much better once I brought Skeledirge, clearly. Clearly, Skeledirge is just the secret to success. I've found this out, so I know better. I can never distrust my boy ever again. So, staying in here against Talonflame, I have to, because once again, Credilli and Vigoroth in the back, not exactly ideal for me to play out in this matchup, as they're going to force me to shield regardless of what I do. So what I do here is I CMP tie, and they go for Brave Bird, so they're not running Fly. They shield up the bait, which now means I'm going to be able to get to the Shadow Ball in 2, but instead they swap into a Rangaroo here, maybe hoping to catch a Disarming Voice, but I immediately bring in my Vigoroth because this is actually a good matchup. Because the counter damage is doing neutral due to that psychic and normal combination of typing, and I'm able to get to Body Slams a lot quicker than they can get to Trail Blaze, Foul Play, Future Sight, whatever move they're running. They're in Trail Blaze, so now they're going to go for some more confusion damage. I'm going to throw the Body Slam in the middle of the confusion so that it doesn't register right away. Opponent lets it go. We're even shields. Opponent now comes in with a Superior and is going to look to farm me down. And my Skeledirge is in the back, just kind of laughing at the moment. But I have to be careful of the Talonflame as it does have some energy. So if I can keep the shield I have for Credilli, I should be in a good spot here. Now my opponent gets to swap, and because swaps are supposed to take a turn, and Bring In is not supposed to take a turn, they should not have snuck there. So I'm going to shield up. I'm going to go for some extra energy. I'm going to full send to Shadow Ball right now, especially because they just swapped. They can't get to another move. They can't swap out, so we're good. And now all I have to do is live an Aerial Ace. Now, for those who don't know, Frenzy Plant actually does more damage, even when it's resisted, than the Aerial Ace does when it's neutral. So if you're only going to get to one move and you need to KO that Skeledirge, throw the Frenzy Plant. Good game. All right, getting into the next game here. We got an Altaria on the lead. Now, there's a couple different ways you could play this. The way I do it, at least to start, is I swap straight into Vigoroth, because I'm going to get to the Rock Slide before they get to a Sky Attack, which is ideal. Now, I was like, All right, I'll wait for them to, you know, they're probably going to catch right on 7. No, they catch on 8, one after, so it's like they're reading my mind, which was kind of frustrating. But, you know, good players know how to make good plays, right? So they made a very good call and swapped on the 8th counter, which is, you know, when sometimes you would expect somebody to, you know, to go for that move. But I'm able to get to another body slam before the opponent's Vigoroth can fully farm me down here, and they're forced to shield in order to get switch advantage, which now leaves them shieldless. Disarming Voice is going to do a lot of damage. My opponent could certainly get to a Rock Slide here, but I'm going to bring in my Credilli because like we said in the last game, Credilli is going to absorb the Rock Slide much better, and look, it hardly does anything, really. And I can still get to Rock Slides here against the Altaria. Now, because they brought in the Altaria, I have an inkling that they may well have Lantern in the back. It's very common in this meta. It's on like every other team as well as Vigoroth. And the thing is, with a shield advantage, Skeledirge beats everything, okay? We'll just be honest, like Skeledirge just annihilates everything that moves. So I'm gonna go for Shadow Ball here, and at this point, all I have to do is get Credilli to land another Rock Slide on the Altaria, and I'm chilling. Like, look at how much damage the Incinerates are doing. This is disgusting. So I'm gonna no-shield this here. I figure I either get taken out and I go for a huge farm down, but I live with 1 HP, so I'm just gonna get rid of the Lantern right now with a Disarming Voice. This will be enough to KO, and then all I have to do is save that shield for Credilli, get to the Rock Slide, and this is a good game here. Credilli, honestly, a very strong pick in this meta. I'll explain why in a second. Good game, by the way. You know, so Credilli is super strong because it resists Body Slam from Vigoroth, and it just destroys Lantern, and so many other things in this meta, right? Like, it's like, it beats the Flyers, it can beat the, it can put up a fight against Vigoroth. It's not necessarily a good matchup for it, but it can definitely put up a fight. Now, opponent swaps into Charge Bug, and I immediately expect that they are core broken to smithereens by Skeledirge. Or they only have 2 answers and maybe there's a Lantern back there. So I swap into Vigoroth to try and catch the move here. Opponent going for that discharge once again, able to get the farm down with the Vigoroth, and at this point, Skeledirge is still fairly healthy, and they have a Tropius, so I already know that they're basically not going to have a good time with my Skeledirge. Credilli here also has super effective damage. Like, that's the beautiful thing about this team, is that having 2 rock moves in the back, having that grass coverage with Credilli, Skeledirge Incinerates just melting anything that moves until it doesn't move anymore, right? This is a very cohesive team, and I like it a lot, and I'm really glad that it was suggested to me. And there's the Lantern. So we keep Credilli, you know, that's the name of the game, right? You save shields for Skeledirge to do its thing, or you save Credilli in the back for that Lantern that's probably going to be there, right? And Skeledirge does a very good job of just taking out Vigoroths, and I'm going to be honest, and you're probably going to see at least one of them in this video, because I'm pretty sure that I got at least one of them recorded here. But every time I see Vigoroth, they always bait with Body Slam the first time. I have seen literally one who full sent Rock Slide off the bat. So 75 to 85% chance that you can probably just go ahead and no shield the first move from a Vigoroth if you're using the Skeledirge, okay? Because they're probably going to bait you. And I don't know why, but they just do. So I'm going to be able to get to this Rock Slide here. I left myself with enough HP to get to that Rock Slide within 1 Bullet Seed, and also because I knew that that Air Slash wouldn't KO. Very good game to the opponent there. Also, get your stupid fish out of here. Y'all know I hate Lantern. I use it when I feel like I have to. And at that point, you know I've gone off the deep end. So here we go, right here. We got Vigoroth, right? So you would like to think that because they can safely get 7 counters and get to that Rock Slide before I can even get to a move, they would just send it, right? But no, they always bait. They always bait every time, and the opponent safe swaps into Lantern. So instead of throwing the Shadow Ball like I'd thought about doing, I'm going to immediately come in with my Credilli here, and I'll go for 1 Grass Knot, and I should typically be able to get the farm down. Now, because they're running Spark, this is much safer than when they have Water Gun. Water Gun doing neutral into the Rock and Grass subtypings here, but Electric is fully resisted. So I can easily go ahead and no shield this. And if I need to, I can shield up, or I can let my Skeledirge have 1 more counter, but depends on if the opponent's able to get to move, and they are, thankfully for them. So I'm forced to let this go with all that energy, unfortunately. I really didn't want to, but I would much rather get farm on Skeledirge right now. Opponent immediately brings back in their Vigoroth. I've got back-to-back Disarming Voices, so I'm going to get at least 1 shield back. And Credilli is at a point where if one of these Disarming Voices lands, I'm at a point where Credilli can come in and take a Rock Slide, or not Credilli, Vigoroth can certainly tank a move here, but I will shield as they're about to throw as they're going down, so this has to be the Rock Slide. And with this much energy, it doesn't matter what's in the back because Lantern is going to have a bad time. Even with a shield advantage, my opponent now sends in a Trevenant, and these, look how much damage Incinerate does, please. It does so much damage. It just melts this tree, dude. So yeah, all that damage, I'm gonna be able to. I can't speak today, dude. I'm gonna be able to get to another Disarming Voice here, take the opponent's Trevenant low, and now I just swap in my Vigoroth because I can actually farm down here. Opponent knows it, and that's a good game. Well played to the opponent. And that was actually the first 5-0. So we got a 3-2 here. Obviously, I know spoiler alert, but I don't know where they came from, but Skarmory was on like every team the next day when I got around to playing my sets. So once again, opponent going for more. Like I expected them to throw right away at 7, but this trainer made very good knowledge, and they baited, of course. They have very good knowledge of the turns and timing. It takes 1 turn to make that swap. So I usually go for the extra Incinerate, that 4th Incinerate, because I expect opponents to throw on alignment they're thinking that they're throwing on 7, which is good timing. But that's, here nor there. And if you're not sure, if the timing thing confuses you, or if you're not 100% sure, that is something that I do offer coaching sessions on my Metafy page. So if you're interested, please consider checking that out. Link in the description and the pinned comment. Move timing is such a crucial mechanic to just master when as soon as you can, because it's so important. And one of the things that I'm very good at is team building and move timing. Those are probably my 2 strongest suits. Although I have a lot of good knowledge about this game that I'm always happy to share. But anyway, yeah, check it out, please. And also join the Patreon because community's goated. Love that. Love those trainers. Love them. I love them all. They're the dearest thing. They're the reason I keep playing this game every day is because I make content and have an awesome Discord community, which is through the Patreon, yes, but I promise you it's worth it. I would pay for it if I had the money. But anyway, enough talking about that because you are always tired of hearing about that in every video that I post because it's, you know what? I'm gonna keep it a buck, all right? That income is used for my family, all right? It's used to keep my family going, get the kids their Christmas presents, get my wife a coffee when she needs it because she loses her mind taking care of the kids, right? That's what it's all for. So, gonna get able to get to 2 rock slides here with the Altari getting taken out. Cordelia's coming in strong, slapping rocks on things, and that's gonna be a good game. Good game. Yeah, I know some of y'all probably tired about hearing me shill it literally in every single video, but it's income that is important to me to be able to support my family. It's not like I go and use the income for selfish, habits or anything like that. Literally, I just send it straight to the kids. Like that's literally what it's used for. So we get a Jellicent swap in here. Opponent swapped in, tried to catch a Body Slam, I believe, on the Jellicent, but I'm coming in with Rock Slide here. And the thing I noticed about my opponent here is, and this is something that you can pick on as well, especially if you're working on your move timing, is some opponents will throw as soon as they get charge moves, like this trainer does here. They say, I get the charge move, I'm immediately going to throw, and you can take advantage of that if you know good timing. You can always find yourself in a position where you throw on good timing and you can sneak. Now, I go for Body Slam here, because I'm trying to get to another Rock Slide before they get to their next Surf, but unfortunately my opponent here not going to be able to get, or I'm not going to be able to get to my Rock Slide because I know they're about to get to the Surf, so I just throw another Body Slam hoping they're not keeping count. My opponent would have let it go, so that's fine. They have a ton of energy at this point, and I didn't know it, but apparently they do. They go for the Surf, and then I come in with Skeledirge, and they go for a move. Oh my gosh, it's probably just another Surf, right? There's no way they got enough for a Shadow Ball. But nope, I am very wrong. That hurts. Boom! And leaves me with almost no HP. So I'm going to come in with Cordelia here, and I'm going to hope that they have Lantern. Like, literally, my win condition is them having Lantern in the back, right? I get the shield off with Cordelia, and then they somehow just have Lantern in the back. Opponent has 2 charge moves. I didn't think they had that much energy either. This is just like a bad game of me keeping track of energy for some reason. I just could not keep track. And then they caught on Superior. And at this point, I'm like, dude, there's absolutely nothing I can do. So I just go ahead and top left for the opponent and give them the win. So, good game. All right, getting into the next battle, we got Skeledirge versus Skarmory. Another Skarmory. I don't know where they're all coming from, but I'm happy to see him. Skeledirge just eats these things alive. Unfortunately, we don't have Flamethrower, and I honestly feel like at this point, they're staying in, committing to this matchup. I'm going to shield in case this is a Brave Bird and Dip strategy, but they go for Sky Attack, which is fine. And then I'm going to go for an extra Incinerate, go for the Disarming Voice, because at this point, Disarming Voice would be enough to almost KO. So I could get one more Incinerate through KO, but no, the opponent actually decides to let that, or shield that up. So I'm going to shield again. Clearly, they are weak in the back to Skeledirge, and I'm not going to let them have it. So going to be able to get in, and then they got the Vigoroth, right? Going to be able to take out the Skarmory. Vigoroth comes in. I probably should have just gone for the move right away because I capped myself up on energy there. But I have double Disarming Voice, and that's going to allow me to get to 2 of these and then get closer to another as I hit off that next Incinerate. Incinerate will get the shield. Now I'm going to come in with my Vigoroth here and look to try to farm down. Opponent has a Venusaur, and this is looking very dicey, to be honest. But Skeledirge is looking like the win condition here. This entire team was disrespecting my boy. So I'm going to go for this Body Slam here. Unfortunately, my opponent, very good timing, or very good counting there. Losing the CMP, going to go down to the Frenzy Plant. That KOs my Vigoroth. I'll give him the boom because they deserve it. I come in with my Skeledirge. If I can Incinerate in 2 Incinerates, I'm chilling here, which thankfully I do thanks to the buffed Incinerate damage. Going for the Disarming Voice, and Credilli, as we've said previously, even though it takes super effective damage from the counters, it could have also taken care of the Vigoroth as well. So good game to the opponent. Do not disrespect the Skeledirge. It's so good. Another Skarmory. I think this might be the one that I didn't do so great. So opponent comes in with an Altaria, right? And I'm like, okay, so Skarmory's already really awkward for Credilli and Vigoroth because of Steel Wing. It does super effective to Credilli. And Vigoroth, I mean, Vigoroth outpaces, but it's not that comfy. So I should have gone for the Body Slam immediately. I did not think that I was going to... I mean, I thought they were going to throw a move, which is why I kept farming. But now that they threw the Moonblast, I know I can go for even more energy. So I'll double up on Body Slams and throw one. Unfortunately, I'm already going to be down a shield here. But hopefully Vigoroth can change that for me. So I'm going to go for the Rock Slides here. As Body Slam is resisted, there's no reason for me to want to go for a resisted Body Slam when I could just throw Rock Slide. So, gonna go for the Rock Slide. Opponent lets that go. And I'm gonna try to get to another one here, but the opponent, very good timing once again on their charge moves. You know, this opponent, knowing the counts here, goes for the Sky Attack, takes out Vigoroth here. And I'm gonna come back in with Skeledirge. The opponent has now a D-Knight in the back. And because they've got Double Dragon, like, they have all 3 flyers that make the back line feel very awkward. Like, this whole team has to kind of come together to beat a dragon like Altaria or, you know, Dragonite or Skarmory, but having all 3 on the same team, very overwhelming. Unfortunately, the opponent is going to be able to just go for it. So I need to call a Dragon Claw here. That's my only win condition, I feel. And they go for the Superpower, and that claps the cheeks off of my poor little Credilli, and the opponent is going to be able to get to almost another charge move and farm down here. I need to go for the Disarming Voice, but unfortunately, I am not going to be able to farm down that Skarmory before they can get me out of here. So, good game. Well played to the opponent. Maybe I could have won that if I had played it a little differently, maybe, but I don't know. Anyway, we get another good lead here. Vigoroth. Skeledirge does one thing very well, and it murders Vigoroth, and that's what I'm okay with. So, again, opponent going for the 7 counters. I shield up what should be a Rock Slide, right? And they go for another Body Slam. I'm telling you, only one Vigoroth has ever thrown full sent it, okay? And then they come in with Charizard. Very nice catch on their part to catch this Disarming Voice. So here's the problem, though, for them, is that now I can go for Shadow Ball. I'm going to debate with another Disarming Voice. If the opponent shields this, that would be grand. They do shield it. I'm going to come in with Vigoroth because I should be able to get to a Body Slam pretty quickly. And I'm hoping the opponent maybe wants to just go for the Dragon Claw here, thinking I'm going to shield. But they go for the Blast Burn. Boom! And I'm feeling like a fool right now. I got to be completely honest with y'all. So... opponent now going to be able to go for another move. Thankfully, they do full send the Blast Burn, so I will be able to Incinerate down here. I have a ton of energy left on my Skeledirge, even though I'm not looking super strong here. They have a double Fire Flying backline, so my Credilli could be looking good here if I play this right. So Shadow Ball is going to get the shield. Unfortunately, I am not going to be able to get to a move here, but the opponent is, and they're going to throw it right away. And now Credilli has to put in work. Do they go for Flame Charge? Okay. I have to go for this Rock Slide here and take out this Talonflame. Opponent going for the extra. I think they were looking to go for a Brave Bird as a Flame Charge was only 2 more Incinerates. Rock Slide's going to KO, and that is going to be a good game here as the opponent only gets to 1 charge move. Remember, they threw the Body Slam. And then I'm going to be able to go for the Grass Knot here before they can get to another charge move. And this is going to be a good game here. Well played to the opponent. Very close game. And man, the Blast Burn sent me, dude. I was done after those. But good games to my opponents. Very, very strong team. Again, appreciate the shout out on Absol Train Best in the chat on the Friday stream for showing me this team. I have had nothing but positive sets with it yet. So very, very strong team. Highly recommend it. Good luck in your games and Holiday Cup. Anything after today, I've probably pre-recorded because I'm going on vacation to go see the family. So hope you guys enjoy the content I've laid out for you for the next couple of weeks. I'll see you guys when I get back. No streams, unfortunately, but I appreciate each and every one of you. I've had an amazing year on this YouTube channel. We've grown significantly over the last year and some, and it's all thanks to you guys who watch, who have subscribed. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I need you all to subscribe. Like the video, leave a comment. What are you doing for your vacation? What are you doing for holidays, man? Let me know in the comments. I hope you all have a great rest of your year, and we'll be back in January fresh and ready to go. Bye-bye.